how many languages do you speak?
6.
Oh, are you kidding me? Really,
I'm not.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is so
I
good.
speak English, Spanish, Japanese, French, German, and Italian.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. And you, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, perfect. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Did you have a particular question, or is there something I can help you with for your English language proficiency?
No, I don't think so because I just want to have a casual conversation and right now I'm available and I just choose some tutor to help me.
Okay. Is there anything you want to know about the United States or, as a
Uh,
conversation topic? Mhm.
I know that you, I choose you because you have a really good rate, here on Cambly.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yes.
and I want to know first, why do you think you are so good in teaching? Do
Well, I personally don't think, I think everyone has room for improvement. The rating is actually done by my students and other people that have graded me. So the reason why, and this is I've asked, the reason why I have such a high rating is because I have been teaching for over 10 years and I also speak more than one language as well. All of my lessons are catered to each of my students' needs. So everyone has specific needs. I pay very close attention to what each individual student needs in regards to their
uh,
language proficiency journey. And I base it off of what they tell me and then also from what I hear just from teaching for a very long time. I know how it is to learn another language. And so I think I have some respect given to me in this particular language community because I am also a student of multiple language. So
oh, that's really good. Yes, because English have this problem because the most of teachers don't speak other language.
Yes, I know. That's
Uh,
actually the reason why I chose to teach language is because I grew up in a multilingual house. And when I
mhm,
went to school, I also found that most people in the United States, teachers, they, especially as old as I am, they did not speak other languages at this time. And my teacher
mhm.
wasn't very nice. So even when I even when I was very young, I decided I want to learn the language, I want to learn it well, and I'm also going to teach and I'm going to teach well. So, mhm.
Okay. Oh, so really, really interesting. Really interesting. And how many languages do you speak?
6.
Oh, are you kidding me? Really,
I'm not.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, this is so
I
good.
speak English, Spanish, Japanese, French, German, and Italian. So,
Oh, perfect. I have this goal to become a polyglot. You know?
oh my God. Okay. So you want to be an autodidact as well? Yeah. What
Yes, yes.
languages do you speak?
Oh, actually, nowadays just Portuguese, English, and Spanish. And my
Okay.
Spanish is not it's not so good.
Yo hablo español también porque mi familia es mexicana. So that's one of my secondary languages.
Ah, okay, okay. And but I started with this goal 1 year ago. 1 year
Mm.
ago, I couldn't speak English very well. It was really basic my English, but I started to
Mm.
learn how learn a language in a different method.
That's
Because
right.
these schools are really boring and
Very boring.
yes, yes. I
Yeah.
hated to learn language before, but I saw some videos and I saw some polyglots who speak, 20 languages, 25
Yes.
languages, and I saw, oh my God, if they can do, I probably can speak at least four languages, four
You
languages from.
absolutely can. Yes, you can. If you like, I can give you the 3 rules for learning any language proficiently. And this is just from my personal observation. Okay? So,
Okay, perfect. I would like
yeah.
to know.
Yeah. So the first rule is, and this is why it's number one, this is why it's so important, is
Yes, number.
because it goes through everything that you do. You have to believe that you speak the language that you want to speak, and you have to believe that you're capable of learning it proficiently. So if
Mm-hmm.
somebody asks you, Paulo, do you speak English? Hablo español. You say, yes, I do. I speak English. I speak Spanish. I'm learning English. Things like this. You say yes. Don't say no, no, no. You say yes. Okay.
Ah, yes. Confidence, confidence.
Confidence. Exactly.
Perfect.
Confidence. And because even to yourself, if you are constantly telling yourself no, you are right. You will never learn that language because
Mm,
it's self-limiting.
yeah.
hmm And that's
Okay,
any
yeah.
language. Okay.
Okay,
And the
perfect.
sec the, and the second rule is whenever you're speaking whatever language you want to speak, try not to translate in your brain. Okay. The reason why is because you can't engage in the conversation very well because you're so focused on trying to translate. Your brain is the smartest computer in the world. Okay. Apple, Microsoft can't touch it. They've been trying to replicate it for years. They're not going to. So, with that idea, please know that your brain is smart enough to distinguish language. Whenever you start hearing another language that you are trained for, your brain goes through something called coding. It flips a switch and it knows to be able to go back and forth. And that's why we have polyglots, such as myself
Mm,
and other people, yourself included. Don't get so fearful that oh, I'm going to lose my language, I'm not going to know what to say. You will. You have to
okay.
trust and have faith in this ability because every brain is capable of it. It's a matter if you use it or not. If someone was to start speaking Portuguese or Spanish or something to you, and I'm speaking English to you, and you are having more than one conversation, you would be able to answer everyone efficiently and effectively because your brain is trained for it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
don't try to help your brain and try to speak English like you speak Portuguese or Spanish or anything because it's different. Just let your brain do its job. Okay?
Ah, okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. And
Yeah. And number three is
okay.
practice. Practice every day. Now, the way I tell you to practice is very different. Okay? So, how we learn a language is not simply just by reading words and books and watching TV series and things like this. We have to go through something called a simulation. You did not learn your mother tongue, Portuguese. You weren't born with this, okay? You had to learn. And the skill in which you learned it through is called a simulation. So, your mother, your father, everyone around you, everyone in Brazil, they were speaking Portuguese. And of course, you learn that because it's all around you, and that's a simulation. That's how you learn any language. Sometimes it's difficult, though, especially if you don't have friends or family that speak that language, you don't have opportunity to speak the language, things like this. Cambly is wonderful, and I highly recommend it. But usually we need more practice for a simulation. So the way I say to practice is watch something that's native speaker on TikTok, YouTube, you know, whatever you want. Just, 10 to 15 minutes a day. Don't make it very long. Try to make it fun. It's a subject that you enjoy and make sure that it's native speaker English. Try not to get more than one or two people for native speakers in whatever you're watching because it can be very confusing. Make sure that it has English subtitle. The reason why is because when you watch it, stop it and repeat the words. Even if you don't understand what they're saying, repeat the words out loud because just as you were a baby, if you see it, you hear it, you say it, it becomes part of you. And that's a simulation. So even if you don't, I don't know what this word is, don't focus on that. Just keep reading it. It's kind of like if you've ever heard a song in, say, English, you like the song, you don't really know what they're saying, but you just try to, mimic, singing, well, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
like Michael Jackson or Bruno Mars or something like this. And they're singing English, you don't know what it is, but you like it. And it's kind of the same idea. You're mimicking the sound. And after many, many times of repetition, you will know what they are saying because now you understand it. It's the same idea.
Mm,
And that's
oh,
any language.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So those are actually the three rules of learning any language proficiently.
Yes, but a question because you also
Sure.
speak Japanese, right?
I
And
do.
Japanese
Yes.
for me is I tried once to learn Japanese, but it's difficult because I love reading, Read
Oh,
for
okay. You love
me,
to read. Oh, it's hiragana, katakana, kanji. Okay. So for Japanese, a
yes,
little bit different. Okay. So
yes.
learn how to speak Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
If you like anime, things like this, watch that. And I would recommend trying to slow it down a little bit with with the settings on the television because
Hmm.
they speak very, very, very fast. And the subtitles would be too difficult and they don't use English characters. They use hiragana, katakana, kanji. Okay.
Yes.
It took me years to learn how to write. I learned how to speak it before I could learn how to write it because it is very difficult. It's a very, very difficult concept. Even it almost looks like their newspapers are upside down, but it's just because how, Portuguese, English, Spanish, all these other romantic languages that are Latin based, they are written a certain way. And
Hmm.
Japanese is completely the opposite. It's different. But speaking, you'll be interested to know because you can speak Spanish and because you can speak Portuguese, it has a lot of the same phonetics. So you will sound well in Japanese if you speak Japanese, but you do have to, learn from repetition. So I'll give you an
Hmm.
example. So you would say like "Eigo ga wakarimasu ka?" which means do you speak English? Or,
Mm,
"Watashi wa Amerika jin desu ka?" Hey, so I'm American, things like this. So, mhm,
oh, interesting. Interesting.
yeah.
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 So don't focus so much on the written language in the beginning for Japanese. Focus on the verbal because it's a lot easier to comprehend. And it's going to help you when you start to learn how to write because it is a very different concept. Japanese is sounds, and they smash the syllable sounds together or they elongate them with a small bar. And also, they have a concept of very literal grammar. It's not like Portuguese, it's not like Spanish, it's truly their own. Chinese is the closest thing. And so, like, they have a verbal question mark. They can make anything into a question. And they don't really have the concept of like rhetorical questions like we do in, Portuguese and Spanish and English.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that. It's very literal. Okay. So,
Ah,
like, if you're saying you can make anything into a question, like omizu, like is you say omizu desu ka, which is like water, like this.
mm,
So, or just omizu, like water, just flat water, and but it's more of a response than a question. So it's about context, but they're very literal. So
ah,
yeah,
complicated.
yeah. We only have about a minute left. Did you have any more questions?
Oh, actually, now I have a lot of questions info because it was really nice. It's really important for me because I always have this question in my head because no, oh my God, I use it to watch some animes or movies in Japanese, but when I put some subtitles, it's always kanji
Right,
and
it's always kanji. Exactly, exactly.
oh my
But
God,
just listen to what they're saying. Try to slow it down
I will
and
try.
then repeat the words. Just repeat them. And then eventually, with enough repetition, you will be able to say the words. Now, I will tell you this very quickly. In Japanese, men and women speak Japanese differently. Men are more gruff, so they'll be like, arigatou gozaimasu, oh, like this, like that's
Yeah.
masculine. And the women, they're like, "Kyo nyani o shimashita ka?" Like this, very soft.
Ah,
So remember that. It's
yeah.
kind of like machismo, okay?
Okay, okay. Yeah,
So that's just very important, especially
I,
for
I,
their culture.
yeah, I love it because all the languages have some personality inside.
Exactly. And all languages are living, and that's why it's important to know the, little things about the languages. That's why we can't just read words. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, Jackie. Oh, so Jackie, our time is out, but it was a pleasure to meet you. I see you again. Okay.
likewise. Take care.
Bye.